please. Allow me to show you something.
With 14 boards played, we're now halfway through our series. Our joint leaders are still partners for these next 2 boards, so there'll be no separating them, or, indeed, the 2 players at the other end of the leaderboard who are also playing their second set of hands together. Let's take a look at the current scores. Marion and Jerry now share the lead on 18 points, followed by Zia and Bertie on 16. Andrew and Cecilia both have 12 points and, after some creative bidding in the last episode, David and Dennis are still bringing up the rear with 10 points each. Over to Table 1 now, where the battle between the players in the lower half of the leaderboard continues.
1 diamond from Dennis.
Bidding 2 clubs is a little bit unsound. Vulnerable against not. It could go pass, pass, double, pass, pass, pass. If East has 4 clubs to the Queen 10, I'm going 8 or 1100 down. So it's a bit unsound, but yeah, fortune favours the brave, and the 2 club overcall over 1 diamond does always make life very difficult for the opponents. So I think it's percentage to bid 2 clubs.
Robson is bound to overcall 2 clubs. He doesn't necessarily have the values, but
This suit is definitely worth mentioning, so...
I have a hand that wants to compete to 3 diamonds if my partner has 4 diamonds. I'm not sure how to find out, so I'm just going to bid 3 diamonds straight away to put some pressure on the opponents. They must have at least half the point count here.
South's double is like a takeout double, a bit of club support, some values in the majors. And West's 3 diamonds is in keeping with the rest of his bidding this set. He hasn't got anything resembling a 3 diamond bid. But then he didn't have anything resembling a 2 diamond bid on the previous hand or a 7 no trump bid on the one before that.
He has an unbalanced hand and he wants to sort of extend the preempt.
But when he opened 1 diamond, he showed an unbalanced hand. So I agree with wanting to extend the preempt.
They're favourable. You can't just pass 2 diamonds doubled and let them find their contract.
I understand.
I don't like to lead my singleton jack of hearts, particularly in telegraph the position to Clara. So I led the king of clubs.
This guy seems to operate without many trumps. In fact, on the first hand, he operated without any at all. That didn't do him any good. The second hand, he only had 8 when he might have had 10.
11 on a good day.
This one, he got
He's
7.
a very solid 4-3 fit.
He is.
With a 4-4 fit on the side.
And the diamonds are 3-3, and, well, the king, queen of spades are on the side, so the lie of the cards is pretty favourable for De Clara.
And again, I didn't want to switch to the jack of hearts and telegraph the position, so I thought I'd force De Clara in the long diamond hand, which is sure to make the play tricky.
The ace of clubs are rough. And my partner only have 3 diamonds. Now I also have only 3 diamonds. That's not a good sign for me. Looks like I need to get some tricks by roughing some stuff. So I try to cross to the queen of hearts and rough another club.
So assuming my partner's playing true count card, looks like De Clara's got 4 hearts. I'm always trying to think about the shapes of the hands. That's so important when one's defending or declaring. Key to bridge, really, shape. So I'm thinking that my partner's probably got 4 hearts and 2 clubs, and I'm thinking De Clara's probably got 5 diamonds for the 3 diamond bid. So I'm thinking my partner's probably got 5 spades, 4 hearts, 2 diamonds and 2 clubs. After winning the queen of hearts, De Clara leads a club, which is a slightly surprising play from my perspective. I would have thought De Clara's going to lead a spade off the dummy. So I'm wondering why De Clara's doing that, and I'm starting to think possibly De Clara maybe 4-4-4-1 and been an unsavoury 3 diamond contract on a 4-3 fit, and De Clara's trying to elope with a small diamond by roughing a 3rd club.
South's diamonds are looking pretty menacing. Queen Jack 10 can be promoted by just leading clubs for South to rough. Then De Clara won't come really to 9 tricks, never mind what he could make in hearts. Well, it's a sort of backward finesse in that the jack of spades from his hand. It didn't win the trick. It wasn't likely to.
My partner now leads the queen of diamonds, which is interesting. So I don't think my partner would lead the queen of diamonds with queen jack doubleton there. So I'm now thinking my partner's got queen jack 10 of diamonds.
So now he's taken the queen of diamonds switch with the ace. Now that jack and 10 of diamonds, or the 2 diamond on, is still in the south hand, really can be promoted by repeated club leads. So leading a heart, North can ruff, play a club, South can ruff, give North another ruff, and play another club to promote the Queen of Diamonds. Here's this cross ruff we were talking
Here we
about.
go.
He can actually pitch a heart on that and ruff the next heart with 9, but that's still down 2.
I could actually have made the contract if I intrigue 2, play a diamond to the king, and place a spade up. As the cards lie, I'm pretty sure I can untangle everything, but I didn't read this situation very well.
You see that if I had passed over 1 diamond, then East can bid 1 heart, West can bid 2 hearts, and that's a very happy situation for them. So, you do have to stick your neck out, really, and pay off to the odd penalties that your buccaneering bid goes for.
Some good insight into Andrew's thinking in that hand, where his buccaneering overcall nudged David and Dennis into the wrong red suit. Let's see how they do at the other table.
It appears that North-South have put the board on the table upside down, so North is now on the bottom of your screen, but no harm done. So the other table was in 3 diamonds, East-West. Let's see if that can get duplicated. Do you think they'll find their 3-diamond contract on the East-West cards in a 4-3 fit?
I'd be a little bit surprised. It started with 1 diamond. That's normal enough.
That's normal.
South or North or wherever we are is a little bit confusing, but we'll try and keep in track. Is going to overcall 2 clubs with Ace King Jack to 6 and nothing else, but it takes a lot of space. 2 clubs, and partner who didn't open the bidding isn't going to carry you away to dizzy heights.
2 clubs from partner, and now Zia's thinking, I'm also preparing my bid. Should I bid 2 no trump? Should I bid 3 clubs? I'm hoping Zia doesn't bid 3 diamonds, because I have a lot of losers. I have 10 points, but I have a lot of losers. I don't really like to get in on a 3 level here, but I do want to bid something, so I'm really hoping it doesn't bid 3 diamonds. So I bids 2 diamonds, and now I can make a double. I have 4-4 in the majors, and some club supports, and some points.
Okay, 1 diamond, 2 diamonds. So if I pass, he's going to come in with something, and it's probably going to be 3 clubs. I'm not sure that helps me very much, because I'm not going to be wanting to double 3 clubs. So I'm going to bid 3 diamonds now, just to shut it out.
West has produced the same 3 diamond bidders at the other table. I really can't think of anything good to say about it this time any more than I could last time. I mean, the opponents have shown clubs and majors, and you've got plenty of defence to the majors. Maybe partner can handle the clubs, and also you've only got 4 diamonds. But the contract did go 2 down at the other table. It needn't have done. Declarer, if he plays flat out, that's for the trumps to divide 3 and 3, can actually make 3 diamonds. If he does, or if he goes down 1, then he'll win the board anyway, despite his bidding, and all will be forgiven. King of clubs, if they play a second club, he can ruff, he can duck a trump. They play a 3rd club to force him, but he can cope with that and effectively draw trumps and make 4 diamond tricks, 4 heart tricks, and the ace of spades. If they don't, he can just play to split the trump suit.
If they don't break, he's in trouble, though.
If they don't break, he'll be in trouble and go millions down like he did on the last hand.
Partner played the queen. Probably I should continue clubs to trap the declarer, but if declarer has 5 diamonds, there's no point to play for this. I'll try my chances to the hearts, because declarer definitely would play spades, because he will need to have the spades and dummy, so my partner may have the chance to get on lead and give me a heart rush. Unless declarer has only 4 diamonds, I think I have to switch to a heart to try to get some heart rush.
What they've actually done is shifted to the Jack of Hearts, so now they're threatening to get ruffs, so he can win with the ace. Now, as we say, he can effectively play 3 rounds of trumps if he wants. Can he, having won that heart with the ace? Yes, he can. He's got enough control just about. He's okay. He's going after spades first.
Okay, she's put the queen of spades up. It's a bit of a risk ducking, because she might be playing a very deep game and her partner might have the king, but I don't think that's likely, so I'm going to keep control of the hand and I'm going to play low.
Ducking it may be a bit cleaner. He did. No, the defenders can get a heart ruff, and then they can play a club to force declarer.
Looks like declarer has 4 spades. So you have 4 hearts and 4 diamonds, or? Anyway, I want to stop the spade ruffs in the dummy, so I play another diamond here.
No, they switch to a trump. Well, obviously they don't know that declarer only has 4 diamonds.
That will come as quite of a surprise, probably.
Well, it would come as extremely surprising. Anyway, he can finesse the jack of spades now, he can ruff a spade, and then he can even play on hearts himself, letting the defenders make whatever trumps they have separately. He can cash the ace of diamonds.
And just leave 2 trumps out?
Yeah, he's ruffed his spade loser on the dummy, so his hand is high apart from 2 missing trumps.
Well, now I've got a difficult decision. I can play another diamond, and if they're 3-3, I'm going to make 10 tricks. Or I can just play on hearts, in which case I'm going to make 9 tricks. And it's really a question of what's happening in the other room as to whether I need 9 or 10 tricks, or maybe it doesn't even make any difference. I'm a little bit worried that they're going to be playing in hearts, but in that case, I don't think it's going to make any difference anyway. So I might as well just play safe and collect the 110 points for 3 diamonds by playing on hearts.
Guy got his heart ruff after all. 1 more trump for them, 3 diamonds made. There we are.
Well done, East-West. 3 diamonds making.
I knew my bidding was sound.
Bertie having more success with that controversial 3-diamond bid there. The same contract -2 at table 1 means a north-south score of +100 compared with the -110 at this table for 3 diamonds making. So, 2 points to Andrew and Cecilia, and to Bertie and Zia at table 2. Back to table 1 now to see if Dennis can make it a full set of 4 hands as declarer in this round of partnerships.
Okay, and the last board of the set. Hopefully East-West can bring some points back home after 3 not-so-successful boards.
Well, they've certainly got the values. I mean, they've got 23 points, and with a bit of guesswork, they can actually make 3 no trump. West has run out of imagination. First seed vulnerable, he has a balanced 6 count, and...
Well, 4-3-3-3, he could not really open anything.
much as he might hate it, I guess he had to pass. Never mind.
East has a pretty nice hand. A nice unbalanced 17 count with pretty solid diamonds.
So here, I could bid 2 diamonds, but we may just have a game on. Partner has 7-8 points and doesn't realise I've got such a big hand. I could bid 3 diamonds, but I think that shows more playing strength, and more about playing strength and less about high cards. So I went with double, which is often committing me to 3 diamonds. For example, if partner bids 2 hearts, I'm going to bid 3 diamonds, because I want to definitely get my strength across.
This is a difference between the way players bid now and the way they used to bid. Not all that long ago, South would just have passed over the double of 1 spade because she's got absolutely no extras for her takeout double. But nowadays people just raise spades, not just because in case partner didn't hear them the first time, but because it gets in the way of the opponent so much and partner won't take it seriously. As I say, 20 years ago you wouldn't have seen South take another bid, but nowadays it's regarded as pretty normal.
Especially favourable.
So now I'm sitting here thinking, he must have a good hand with 6 diamonds, a stiff spade, and looks like 3 hearts and 3 clubs. Maybe 4 hearts and 2 clubs. I have a pretty good hand for him. If he has like a 17 count with 6 diamonds, I have spade stopped pretty well. I have an ace. I got 3 diamonds for him. I want to gamble and 3 no trumps here.
So Gold had doubled 1 spade for takeout, and now he shows a really big hand by bidding 3 diamonds, and Dennis, who has not just a pretty solid looking spade stop but an ace, knows to bid 3 no trump now.
I've got to find a lead, so this is a big decision. I've got to choose between the majors, essentially, because clearly Declarer has at least 1 spade stop, and so it's tempting to lead the 3 of hearts, but will they have 9 tricks? If we just lead the 4 of spades and we give Declarer a spade trick, will Declarer have 9 tricks? So I think I'm going to lead the 4 of spades, and if the heart switch is right, my partner can always find it.
Okay, here we go. I have 6 diamond tricks. I have a heart trick. I have 2 club tricks if I get the ace knocked off, and a possible spade trick. But the danger here is that my opponents will take 3 spade tricks or 2 spade tricks and a heart trick and club trick, and it's all about getting the tricks first, and I need to establish some tricks.
South can return a spade. Declarer will almost certainly go up with the queen if that happens, and knock out the club, and the defenders can get a couple more spades if that happens, so they get 3 spades in the club. Or South can switch to a heart, which Declarer will allow to run, and then whatever happens, Declarer can knock out the ace of clubs. In that layout, it's crucial for Declarer to guess the spades, but on this bidding, that's going to happen. So Dennis in serious danger of making a contract. You'd expect Robson to return a heart, because for all he knows his partner could have ace-jack 10. Declarer's just promised some spade holding, not necessarily the ace of hearts or anything, so the defenders may now play heart-heart. If that happens, Declara will win, play a club, and South would do well then to cash the ace of spades, or she may never get it. If she tries to put Declara to a guess by leading a low spade, Declara knows enough to go up with the queen and make an over trick, so there's a chance of making 10 tricks. Declara will play a club and South will win, and then just a question of whether she cashes her ace of spades or loses it. He may play one diamond just to make sure the diamonds are breaking. He did. They are king of clubs or jack of clubs or something.
They're all equal. Jack of clubs, that takes the ace and she'll cash the ace of spades now.
I think she will. I don't think she'll risk under leading it. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
So that
we
is
made
9
one.
tricks for Declare and plus 600 points for East-West.
Dennis did get to be declarer again, but in a very good contract this time, which the partnership has done well to bid with their combined 23 count. Let's see if they can find it at the other table.
So on this board, East-West and the other table reached 3 no trumps and made it, which is a pretty solid score for them.
Absolutely. I mean, 23 points isn't always so easy to bid 3 no trump.
So Zia passing first in hand with a balanced 6 count. Not much he can do there. Reluctant path.
Well, first he'd vulnerable. He'd playing with a guy who just went for 1,400 in 5 clubs doubled. He's taking the opinion that he doesn't want his side to do too much bidding. On the other hand, his side had better do quite a lot of bidding on this hand. We saw at the other table, the East player opened a diamond, and then when the opponents competed in spades, he doubled, and then when they did more competing, he bid again. And his partner finally, kicking and screaming, bid 3 no trump and found that they couldn't beat him. So 600 is the target score for Zia and Andrew Black on this deal. 1 diamond double pass.
If I just bid 2 diamonds, I suspect that's probably the end of it, and I do think there's a possibility that we might be in 3 no trumps here. Maybe that's asking too much, and maybe partner will bid anyway, so I'm just going to bid 2 diamonds.
And East has bid 2 diamonds. Maybe that 1,400 has put a dent in his usual style, because that's not the most aggressive bid I've ever seen anybody make. Zia can't think of anything to do over it.
Is North thinking of bidding again?
Experts hate to leave anybody in 2 of anything when it looks like they've got a fit.
It doesn't feel so nice to just let them play 2 diamonds while we are non-vulnerable, but then on the other hand, I have such a shitty hand and I don't really have any suit to bid. I kind of want to bid 2 hearts, but it feels like it's asking for trouble, so I'll just pass.
She'll probably chuck it in finally because, there she goes, because her hand is so bad. But it's the situation. Expert players hate to let the opponents play unmolested on the 2 level.
Oh, especially to the minor.
Yeah. Anyway, 2 diamonds has got 3 losers, a heart, a spade, and a club. So that'll be 130 in short order for Black and Zia, but that compares with 600 at the other table for a win to North-South at this table, East-West at the other, and a tie on this set of 4 boards. Usually, if there's a tie, a close match, it means everybody's played good bridge, but I wouldn't necessarily say that was totally the case throughout the deals we've been watching on this occasion.
At least the boards weren't boring.
Oh no,
we had some fun times.
Yeah. None of the boards was a tie, of course. The boards were all massive swings. 2,300 on the first board, 600 on the second board, 470 on this board, and a modest 210. So the total aggregate swing somewhere in the order of 4,000. But the points have been shared between everybody. So everybody's going to be more or less happy or more or less miserable, depending on what kind of people they are.
Okay, so this concludes the set.
Indeed.
Another swing then. As our commentators say, it's been a real roller coaster of a round. 3 no trumps making at table 1 means a north-south score of minus 600 for Andrew and Cecilia, compared with minus 130 at table 2. So that's a win and 2 points each for Jerry and Marion, and for Dennis and David as the more successful east-west pair this time. Despite the heady swings, there's no change to the relative positions of the players after 16 boards. The leaders, Marion and Jerry, now have 20 points each, with Zia and Bertie hot on their heels with 18. Then come the Table 1 gang from this round, with Andrew and Cecilia both on 14, and David and Dennis now on 12 points each. Hopefully the change of partnerships and the next round will shake things up a bit. And before we wind up this episode, here's another chance to find out a little more about one of our players, as Shazad asks Bertie a few questions, including why he's called Bertie.
So, Bertie, first question is, your name's Andrew, but everyone calls you Bertie. Why is that?
It goes back to my school days. There was a teacher who used to teach my father before me, and he started calling me Bertie Black. I don't know why. I mean, just because my surname began with B, I think. And then, anyway, I didn't see the various friends I was with at that school for a long time, but then I caught up with them years later, and they all called me Bertie, which is what they called me when I was 7, when I moved back to where I used to live. So it just stuck, and it stuck to this day. But when I first went to the bridge club at the Young Chelsea, I joined, and they said, "Oh, we've already got an Andrew Black here who plays down here." And I said, "Oh, well, call me Bertie then." And then it just stuck with that, and that's what it is to this day.
So people call you that outside of bridge as well, then?
My sisters call me Bertie now. My mother doesn't. A lot of people call me Bert, which maybe I prefer that. I don't know, but I'm not the sort of person who's going to object. You call me anything you like,
Okay, well, we'll have to keep it clean in front of the camera.
Yeah.
So, how did you get started playing bridge?
Well, I grew up playing cards mostly with my grandparents. They used to run a whist drive, and we used to play all sorts of card games. I mean, virtually every card game apart from bridge. I mean, it's not so easy playing bridge, when you can have 3, 4, 5 people. It's something you have to be more organised about. So I loved cards. I played cards a lot. I grew up without computers, obviously, so you didn't have that temptation. I mean, I sort of feel if I was young today, I probably wouldn't get into cards so much because there'd be so many other temptations. But I mean, I didn't start playing bridge until I was probably 14 or 15 at school, but it was a reasonably easy step to take from what I learned. And once I started playing bridge, I didn't want to play anything else.
You got the bug?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, definitely.
So some players, I've talked to other people about this, are more like chess players when they play bridge, and other people are a bit more like poker players. So would you put yourself in one category over the other?
I hope I'm in the middle. I think I used to be a hardened sort of analyst, so I'd go through the hands assiduously after I played them. I'd work through every single hand and work out what I should have done and work out what the odds were. I used to read a lot, and I'd pick up the papers, and I can remember you'd pick up the papers and you'd look at it for about half a second, and you'd know immediately what sort of hand it was, because I was so conditioned to looking at bridge hands and to set piece hands. So I was a technician back then. I think as time goes on, I probably get to be a little bit more of a poker player. I think a good bridge player is probably somewhere in the middle. I think you have to have a bit of everything.
Definitely. And can you tell us a little bit about yourself outside of bridge?
Well, I guess I played bridge quite a lot up until the age of about sort of 30. In fact, I was playing for a living for a while, so I used to go down to TGRs and play for fairly high stakes bridge down there, and that was the only thing I did. I left work just to play bridge. But after a year of playing at TGRs, I made money for about 9 months, and I think I lost money for the last 3. And I think I'd lost interest in it a little bit, and I needed to get on with other things in my life. So I went back to work, and I didn't play bridge. I hardly played bridge at all for about 15 years. So I started up a company called Betfair, which was very successful. I've since sold out of that. In 2011, I walked away from the company when it was floated. Now I have quite a lot of business interests, but nothing that I'm full-time on. So I've got various interests in horse racing. I breed racehorses. I race racehorses. I live on my own sort of stud in Surrey, a sort of beautiful 300-acre old house. I'm really happy there. I've got a wife and 4 children who've grown up there, so that's been fantastic for me. Then my 2 main business interests. I own a company called Slicker, which sort of collects oil all around the UK, and it cleans it and it will in time re-refine it to go back into the sort of cars or wherever it came from in the first place. And I have some investments in various biotech companies, in particular a big one that basically makes DNA in a test tube for medicinal purposes, and they're based in some Victorian waterworks that I own in Hampton Court, and I've been adapting that sort of waterworks for them for years. So that's been a really big project for me, converting, a Victorian waterworks that was built to be a waterworks into, a sort of state-of-the-art laboratory for, a biotech company is quite challenging, and also quite expensive. And that's a lot of what I've been doing has been around that in recent times.
Over more recent years, it looks like you've come back to bridge and it's been a bigger part of your life.
Yeah, and interesting. I mean, I think when I played before, I never had a partner where we were a serious pair. So I think although I was playing to a reasonably high level, I was playing as an individual and I was playing rubber bridge, and I never sort of refined a system that would allow me to play well in tournaments. Having come back to bridge, the truth is, I went away, I made some money, and I came back, and then I could afford to pay the better players to play with me. I mean that's the truth of it. So I assembled a team of sort of a crack team of proper bridge experts who were full timers in the game to play on my team, and then I play with them, and there are various different very good players who I played with, end up playing with currently, and when you're playing with experts, they raise your game for you.
Definitely.
So I've had a lot of sort of coaching from those guys. Everyone has a slightly different view, but playing with a few different players is quite good, because I do feel I've had a very sort of broad spectrum of views on the game, and I think I've learned a lot. And I actually think I'm a much better player today than I ever was when I was younger. I mean, I think I've lost a little bit of the sort of. I don't think my memory is quite what it was. I don't think my attention is quite where it was back then. But I've been sort of beaten up into shape by my various partners, who've sort of forced me to see things in a slightly different way. And I feel I'm a more rounded and better player now than I was back then, due to all the good coaching.
You and your team have had some very good domestic results over the last few years, and some good international ones as well, particularly in Monaco last year.
Yeah, no, we came second in Monaco a few years ago, not last year. We came second to Monaco in Monaco, which was a real thrill. It was we beat Lavazza in the semi-final, and they're an amazing team, and they're very, very difficult to beat. They don't normally lose to sort of teams like us. They don't normally lose to anyone. I mean, they're absolutely superb. And then we got to the final against Monaco, and they had again an absolutely fantastic team. And those two teams you would consider to be the best teams in Europe. And we'd also beaten the Dutch in the quarterfinals. So we didn't have an easy run to the finals.
No, not at all.
We beat Lavazza quite well. I played well in that game, and if I look back on my career to date, I'm probably more proud of how I performed on that day than any other time. And then in the final, we held our own. We were actually winning halfway through the third of three stanzas. We just had to hold on for 10 boards, and unfortunately they overhauled us, and we finished, well, we were beaten and we finished second. We got the silver medal. I remember coming back from that, and it's so intense playing those matches. You play 20 board matches, which are much longer than I'm used to playing. So you sit down and you'll play for a 3-hour session, then you'll go away for a little break, and then you'll come back and play another 3-hour session. And my brain was so tired, I didn't even know my own name at the end of it. You're almost in a trance, because you've been thinking so hard for so long. And it's like your brain is tired, like a muscle is tired. And I've never experienced that before in my life, in any walk of life. And I think it's actually amazing. I think to get to that point where you've sort of exhausted your brain like that, I mean, to me it feels like it must be a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go out and you sort of, you tire yourself out running up and down hills and that sort of thing, you kind of we accept that's a good thing for your muscles, but you don't accept that, we don't recognise it's such a good thing for your brain to do something like that. But I felt that was good, and I felt after that, I'd almost felt like I'd stepped on and I'd improved as a bridge player.
Well, I'm sure you'll have other opportunities to
I hope
change?
so. I hope so. I mean, it's difficult to get to these big finals, very difficult. But we're doing okay, you know.
Thank you very much for coming to speak to me today.
Thank you.
Please, allow me to show you something.